Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. It is October 21st, 2023. We just wrapped up chapter 9, The Army on the March. And now we're going to go back to the very beginning to wrap up October before we move into November. Verse 1, chapter 1, Sun Tzu said, "The art of war is of vital importance to the state." Verse 2, "It is a matter of life and death, a road to either to safety or ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected." And 3, "The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors to be taken into account in one's deliberations when seeking to determine the conditions obtaining in the field." So that's a little rough, but that's okay. And just for reference, these are going to be the moral law, heaven, earth, the commander, method, and discipline. Now, we can go over here to an alternate translation and start with strategic assessments. Chapter 1. Master Sun, military action is important to the nation. It is the ground of death and life, the path of survival and destruction, so it is imperative to examine it. Of course, Li Quan, Dumu, Jialin, and Mei Yaochen all have something to chime in, but let's try to reflect on each of them briefly. Li Quan saying military action is inauspicious. It is only considered important because it is a matter of life and death, and there is a possibility that it may be taken up lightly. So in the same sense that, we study philosophy and we are reading this and Stoicism, it can be taken lightly and we can use it to have fun, I guess, out there in life. But I guess in matters of life and death, military action is inauspicious. So kind of just having a militaristic attitude about everything in life might do you well. Dumu says the survival or destruction of a country and the life or death of its people may depend on military action. So it is necessary to examine it carefully. So just as Jocko Willink would say, discipline equals freedom. Your country can be yourself, life or death. If you yourself depend on military action, it's probably a good idea to study it. Jialin says that the ground means the location, the place of pitched battle. Gain the advantage and you live, lose the advantage and you die. Therefore, military action is called the ground of death and life. The path means the way to adjust to the situation and establish victory. Find this and you survive. Lose this and you perish. Therefore, it is said to be imperative to examine it. An ancient document says, "There is a way of survival which helps and strengthens you. There is a way of destruction which pushes you into oblivion." Mei Yaochen says, "Whether you live or die depends on the configuration of the battleground. Whether you survive or perish depends on the way of battle." And as we've seen through some of these meditations, that the configuration of the battleground a lot of time lies on us. And what that means is it lies within us to dictate the battleground and be in control. Whether you survive or perish depends on the way of battle. And that's why we are going to discuss the morality, the code of ethics, and we're going to examine all of this stuff from not only a philosophical perspective, but we're just going to go Eastern and Western and bring it all into one to form some principles for us to live our life by. So this will be fun. So October 21st, out of the Daily Stoic, heroes, here and now. Such behavior. People don't want to praise their contemporaries whose lives they actually share, but hold great expectations for the praise of future generations. People they haven't met or ever will. This is akin to being upset that past generations didn't praise you. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 6.18. Alexandria, the city in Egypt, still bears the name of its founder, Alexander the Great, some 2,300 years after he set foot there. How cool would it feel to have a city named after you for so many centuries? To know that people are still saying your name. Here's a thought: it wouldn't be cool. Because, like Alexander, you'll be dead. You'll have no idea whether your name lasted down through the centuries. No one gets to enjoy their own legacy by definition. Remember that. Worse, think of all the horrible things Alexander did to achieve what he did. He fought pointless wars. He had a terrible temper, even killing his best friend in a drunken fight. He was ruthless and a slave to his ambition. Is he really so admirable? Instead of wasting even a second considering the opinions of future people who are not even born yet, Focus every bit of yourself on being the best person you can be in the present moment, on doing the right thing right now. The distant future is irrelevant. Be good and noble and impressive now, while it still matters. That is just such a great way to remind ourselves that we need to get back to the basics. We're Even though Alexander the Great became Alexander the Great, we can still reflect that he wasn't that great of a man, just like we find the founding fathers of America oftentimes have sordid histories themselves that just show that they're human. And I think that that is something that we all need to strive to look for in other people, is the humanity. Because without that, what reason do we have to stand tall if not to be human?